John Fredericks, he's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by West Virginia SportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah,
for entertainment purposes only.
Well, good morning to our listeners on Godzilla Wins. Thanks for being with us on this wonderful Saturday, the second day of D1 baseball. We got Olympics. We've got taxes in California. We've got Coach Vince Mayako's retirement. Is he going to the San Francisco Giants? That is really the question of the day. I think Tony hired him. I think Tony got out there from Tennessee and said, wow, look at this coach. It's winning all these games in Bakersfield at Taft College. Let's just get the best coaches out there and try to build a winner here at the Giants. Now, my screen is dark. I came from Des Moines last night for the opening season. I forgot my lights, and it is what it is. So we're going to have to get through it kind of the best that we can do. So I have a dark screen today. We'll try to do the best we can. I'll probably close the blinds a little bit later, but anyway, my audio is good, so that's the main thing. Great to have everybody with us on Godzilla Wins. Happy Valentine's Day. Unfortunately for you and our listeners, I'm your host today, as Mitch Rogers is out with Valentine's Day stuff with his lovely bride and girls. So no, Mitch, you're stuck with me, but and everybody else is out too. I guess they're all celebrating it. I am in where am I? Wrightsville? No. Somewhere in North Carolina, Wilmington, that's right, Wilmington, North Carolina, that's where I am today. Doubleheader today with the University of Maryland, off to a great start. We'll be talking about that. And now, we're going to be giving you some picks. We slammed it on the Super Bowl. As you know, I was, what was I against the spread in the playoffs, guys? 11-2. I mean, I put that record up against anybody. I'm on fire. And I was on fire in hockey, too. And then we had this, 2-month break or whatever this thing's going on there. So kind of been on the schneid here a little bit, not doing anything. But if you or anyone you know has a gambling problem, you want to call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-GAMBLER, and we encourage you to gamble responsibly. Don't bet more than you can lose. And if you know anybody in your family that might have an addiction, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER. And our picks on the show are for entertainment purposes only, although many of us do bet. Well, that's our money. So for you, it's entertainment. If you want to take our advice, go ahead. Or what you want to do is you want to fade Brendan Statler. That's what I would recommend you do, because he picks a pile of losers every day. That's why we have him on, so we can fade his bets. All good. What do we put up our Godzilla Win site, where you got to put your units in, and then we can start tracking what you do like we did when the show started. So that's coming for March Madness. Anyway,
I'm about to hit a hot streak, John. Don't fade me too much longer.
You're going to be fading you, buddy. And but by the way, when we do Godzilla Wins, I don't want you guys bitching and moaning, because there's no parlays and there's no prop bets. You either bet the line, or you bet the money line, or you bet the over-under. That's it, right? So that's the way I set it up. I'm not doing the other stuff. So you're going to have to get in the big boy. You got to put your big boy pants on and pick the games for real, not some five issue, what do you call it? Those prop bet parlays, which are ridiculous. Can't win on them anyway, and they're stupid. But that's just me. Anyway, it's good to have you with us. We got a new guest here today, Dan Hobgood. Dan, am I saying your last name right?
You are. That's correct. Yes, you got
Dan Hobgood. He is a longtime morning producer of the John Reed Show on WRVA, and our ratings were kicking them in the butt so bad, Reed had to bail, and he had to get out of there, as he couldn't compete with me in the morning. So sad. And then he ran for lieutenant governor, ran a great race, and now Hobgo doing his podcast. So maybe
That's right.
maybe,
Yeah, we're on mornings right after you, 10 a.m. Monday
well,
through
that's
Friday.
smart. I mean, you don't want to compete.
That's right.
with
We're avoiding competing with you there.
You only
there,
get your
Mr.
butt
Fred.
kicked again, right? I tell you, that guy, this is inside baseball, guys, but for those of you in Virginia, that guy, you're not with WRVA anymore, Dan, but that guy in the morning, everybody is telling me that the guy is absolutely dreadful. I don't know where they got him, Detroit or something. He said he's absolutely
Arizona.
horrible.
Arizona.
Whatever. I mean, so
I
our
am
ratings are way
contractually
up.
obligated not to comment on that matter, but
Don't comment. But when does your contract run out?
I don't think ever in that
Never.
regard.
Okay, it never runs out. Well,
But
we'll see
yeah,
what
so
happens.
we'll
sorry,
see.
we
But
kicked.
tune in to John Fredericks from 6 to 10, and tune into the Read Revolution from 10 to whenever John finishes every day.
10. Oh, you want this John finish?
It really just depends. I mean, you just rev him up and he just goes until he's done. So that's John for you. But
Listen, if it works, I know you guys are doing excellent. Hopefully, we'll get something.
we have a great time. John is a wonderful guy, as you know, and it's good to be back together with him. It's great that the band is back together.
John is a great guy. So we've also got Brendan Statler with us. We're going to be fading his bets. Brendan, also a member of WV The Torch, our sales team there, as well as WV Sports Nation. And Coach Vince Mayaka. We got a lot to get to today of Taft College, just retired. We'll go into that. But let me just start with welcome, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Great to be with us. And don't forget that this is sponsored by WVSportsNation.com for all your coverage, all of it. I mean, every single bit of your coverage that you would ever want. For West Virginia University Athletics, you want to go to WVSportsNation.com. Bookmark us there, WVSportsNation.com. Sign up for our free newsletter. We put out our best stories of the day. Cost you nothing. No Substack, no money, no $8 a month. None of that. All you got to do is get on our email list and boom, afternoon, hit your email box. Top stories are there. You don't have to do anything. Link right to it. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. And listen, you're good to go. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's good to have everybody with us today. So before we get to California taxes, which has killed Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl, he's paying more for that one game than he made in a bonus. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But before we get to that, a great day yesterday. And Coach Vince Mayako, who was with us here, the head baseball coach and a professor at Taft College, announces his retirement at the end of the season after a quarter century, 25 years. And we got a chance to see your press conference, Vince, and very proud of you and what you've done. Tell our audience a little bit about why you retired, and you kind of left the gates open. You didn't really say, I'm going to take Tammy and, go on vacation and like go around with the kids. You didn't kind of say that. It looked like you got something else you might want to do. And why don't you kind of share that with your audience that is known to come and love you, Vince?
Well, thank you, John. Appreciate that. And I thank the Godzilla Wins crew for their outpouring of support when we sent you that link to our press conference. But I've been in this business a long time. I mean, I'm a lifetime California Community College student athlete, instructor, professor, and obviously a head baseball coach. I started my JUCO career in 1982 at College of the Siskiyous up in Northern California, just south of the Oregon border. And then from there, figured out that, I'm not going to play this game much longer, but boy, I want to be around the game. And from there, I had some great opportunities to go back to Siskiyous, become an assistant coach there in the mid to late 80s. And then was fortunate enough to land the head job at College of the Siskiyous for about a 6-year period. And then ventured down to the southern San Joaquin Valley, just south of Fresno, between Fresno and Bakersfield, spent some time here. And then 25 years ago, as you had mentioned, John, I got the opportunity to land a position at Taft College as a professor and a baseball coach. And within 3 years, I became the head coach and been the head coach at Taft College for 22 years, and reached the retirement age where you check a box on your longevity and your age. And but you know what, John? And yes, I did leave the door open. I at the conclusion of this semester in this baseball season, I'll no longer be employed at Taft College and no longer be the baseball coach there. But I want to stay in the game of baseball. I feel that even though I check some boxes from a longevity and an age factor, John, I feel like I'm a better coach today than I've ever been. I really do. And maybe I'm living a dream. I don't know, but I really believe that. And um, I have a lot to give back to the game. And you know what? If I've got something to give back to the game of baseball, I owe it to the game of baseball. Um, baseball coach, being a baseball coach, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. And it's been my lifestyle for the almost 40 years of my life. And I'm thrilled. I mean, I'm thrilled about the team that we have this year. Hopefully we can go out with a bang and get some big wins. We've already gotten some big wins. We beat the defending state champions, Mount San Antonio College, a week ago. Took 2 out of 3 from Feather River College, one of the top programs in NorCal. And we've got a big one today. We've got the Battle of Kern County. We're hosting the Bakersfield College Renegades today at 1:00. So a huge recruiting battle on our ends, and we're looking forward to the challenge today. But yeah, as far as my future after retiring from Taft College, I got some proverbial irons in the fire, so to speak. It could entail locally, it could entail um, within the confines of the U.S. And yes, Maryland. If Maryland needs an assistant coach, I've updated my resume, but I've also looked into some possible international positions.
Send it to me, and I'll send it to Swope.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not I'd rather come to West Virginia.
I think you've really got. Oh, screw that.
Or UVA.
No,
aside from obviously come to Maryland. High taxes in California, the weather is very conducive to baseball. So I'm kind of a fair weather type person, but Arizona, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, those are destinations I would love. But I've also looked into, John, I don't know if you call them breaking this news, but I've looked into international baseball as well too, and reached out to the guy who's in charge of MLB Europe. And the thought of going and coaching baseball in Europe is very intriguing. And that's something that I'm looking more into. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
What do they do there? What is there baseball?
Yes, and you know what? Ironically, I believe the Pirates just recently signed a right-handed arm from Italy.
Hey,
if I read that correctly.
My Buccos.
Yeah, and we're seeing that baseball is growing globally. Obviously, I think Ohtani has a lot to do with that.
Right.
But it's actually even went into Europe. Now, of all the European countries, it seems like Italy is the best baseball quality-wise. And the Netherlands, from what I understand, is pretty good as well, too. But in Italy, you have an influx post-World War II, where you had a lot of Americans and Italians that were kind of bouncing back from both countries. So obviously, growing up in America, you go back to Italy and you take the sport of baseball with you. And we're in the Bologna, San Marino area of Italy, actually San Marino being a small landlocked country within the confines of Italy. Baseball has gotten really big there. Now, is it as big as soccer? Obviously not. But it's grown there and grown to the point where there's been a couple of Italians that have actually signed professional contracts to play baseball here in the U.S.
Listen, you've got the world's your oyster, so to speak. Got a great record at one of the best JUCOs in America. I happen to think you'd be a great D1 coach. There's going to be a lot of openings, as you know, at the end of this season when things don't go right for various teams around the country. I think if you have an agent and with your 25 years of experience and your ability to now to relate to many young players, and because you understand the JUCO environment, which is now going to be critical for any D1 coach, regardless of what conference they're in, and how to navigate your way through the extra year of eligibility, how to navigate your way through NIL, and then how to relate to players. And all of that is going to come into play. So we look forward to following your career. We hope you'll be. I think you'll end up being D1 somewhere come this summer.
Well,
We'll see what happens.
I would welcome that.
I know. I mean, as long as you're willing to move out of California, Vince. Speaking of California, okay, what this? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I love the weather in your state. You know, as you know, I worked there at the Orange County Register back in the day when it was actually a real newspaper. But after winning Super Bowl, whatever number it is, 60 or
60.
something. Yeah, 660. Seattle Seahawks quarterback, get this, right? Sam Darnold is expected to pay $249,000 in California state taxes. 240. He doesn't even live there. He doesn't play there, but because of the Super Bowl and his bonus and whatever he got, which exceeds the $178,000 game bonus. So the game bonus he got for the Super Bowl, he's got to pay another $75,000 in taxes just to accept the bonus. This is the most insane thing I've ever heard. This is called the jock tax. These guys will tax anything, man. It's unbelievable. It's called the jock tax. And it results from California taxing a portion of his total yearly salary due to 8 duty days spent in California. 2 days where he played the Rams, 2 days where he played your 49ers, right? That's 4. And then the week he spent preparing for the Super Bowl in Santa Clara. So that's 4 plus 7. So it's like 11 days or something. And so he's got to pay $250,000 in taxes. So Darnold could actually lose $71,000 on the game after factoring in the Super Bowl 7-day tax bill. He lost money by what? This is the most insane thing you've ever heard. But this is where your state's going. This is where the country's going. One of the legislators in communist Virginia now, which Dan knows has been taken over by radical whack jobs. They want to tax, get this, Dan, you can come into this. They want to tax the views in the Shenandoah Valley. So they want to call it a view tax. So if you live in the Shenandoah Valley and you have a home overlooking the Shenandoah Mountains, they want to assess a tax on that. Dan, this is not a political show, but you got to report what happened here to Sam Darnold. It's insane.
Yeah, we talked about it on the Read Revolution yesterday, actually. 3.5% tax on Sam Darnold's salary because of the fact that he spent a week preparing for the Super Bowl in California. And yeah, just to note, John, as a matter of fact, I grew up with Abigail Spanberger's husband, Adam. He and I went to school together through elementary school, middle school, and high school. Kind of funny. We ran against each other for student body president in 1997. So it's just I'm tired of losing to Spanbergers, but I'm somebody who aspires at least to be a man after the founding fathers' own hearts. You can maybe see behind me there that I got a bobblehead of Donald Trump on the one side of the ledger, and then on the other side is George Washington, I think, crossing the Delaware. But the idea of this country was one where if you're going about your business in peace and I'm going about my business in peace, I'm not resorting to force against you. You're not resorting to force against me. Everybody else should leave me and you the heck alone, especially those in government. Government has one job to do: to defend society's peace.
Well, it certainly isn't to tax Sam Darnold more money in
No.
Of course, Washington State doesn't have an income tax, so they kind of double down on him.
No, and the reason why they're doing this is because California has become the farthest east province of North Korea. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is just
Vince, what's the deal there? How do you tax a guy more money than he made?
Well, John, that's just Sam Darnold. What about the other players as well, too? We're talking Drake May. Every player on the Patriots and Seahawks got taxed. Mm-hmm. California, here we go. I'm venturing off of sports and going into my political realm here. Maybe that's another profession for me after retirement life, but I don't think I want to
for California.
I don't want to swim in a swamp. But California, our legislative body just passed a new state law. If you drive more than 15,000 miles a year, you are severely taxed. And California, that's what we do is drive. I mean, most Californians have to commute anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to work. And you start doing, I mean, shoot, we'll drive 15,000 miles in the span of 6 months. And the thought of being taxed because of we have to drive to work and come back from work and to get taxed heavily on that is crazy. We already have the highest gas taxes, the highest road taxes. Our vehicle registration is insane. And we've got the worst roads in the United States.
Well, that sounds like that's what. Look, you got great weather, great views, great people. Especially when you get out of, you get out you get out LA and San Francisco, and you go into some of the outer parts of California. They're just wonderful people. I talk to many of them every day. I've got a lot of callers from there. So absolutely insane beyond belief. But let's get to look, I'm excited about your.
Hey, John, can I
future.
throw in one more tidbit?
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead. Vince, go ahead.
I would hope that the Professional Football Players Association will negotiate with the NFL and say, we're not playing a Super Bowl ever again in the state of California. Let's have them in Arizona, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, but we're not signing off on our players playing a Super Bowl in California ever again.
Well, they're not going to do that because that's why they had Bad Bunny. I mean, look, they all want to be woke, right? Goodell wants to be woke. He wants to hang around with that wokesters, and he wants to, have caviar when he gets off of his NFL paid for private jet or whatever he does. So as long as they're having Bad Bunny at Super Bowls, and as long as they're, willing to go to California so people pay more taxes than their earnings in the Super Bowl, they're going to continue to do that until finally people have had enough. And we'll see what the NFL Players Association has to do with it. But they're the ones that ought to go to the NFL and say, hey, if you play another Super Bowl in Cal, we're not going. That's it. Sorry. You'll have to go somewhere else. But they'll never do that either. So, look, Vince, you got a great future ahead of you. We're going to be following your career. I know you're going to end up D1 somewhere in the
other than
the
California,
summer.
evidently.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, and John, but John, all of this stems from the fact that California believes that your money is their money, that government should basically be a nanny, that it isn't a peace defense. It's basically a paternalistic bodyguard, and just everything about your life should be managed by government. And so, yeah, of course, they're taxing everybody beyond what they're making in the Super Bowl by $75,000.
Insane. Let's get to opening day yesterday. D1 baseball. What a great day it was for our two teams. Let's start obviously where I am at Riceville Beach here, and where are we? Somewhere in North Carolina. Wilmington. I always forget. Well, I even know where I am half the time. I got in from Des Moines last night. It was colder in Wilmington, North Carolina, than it was in Des Moines, Iowa in February. So go figure that. It was about 35 degrees last night when the sun went down there. But good news is Maryland gets off to a 1-0 start, beating UNC Wilmington, which is a pretty good team here at home, beat them 5-3. Wilmington had a couple guys on at the end there. Chris Sasapita got out of the inning and preserved that 5-3 victory. I got there about the third inning from Des Moines, but I'm going to tell you this, Maryland's legit. I've been telling you guys this all season. This team is legit. They're going to make noise in the Big Ten. Look, are they going to win the Big Ten and beat UCLA? Probably not. But they got a shot to finish second. It's a really good team. And I tell you what they did, what Joe told me last night, Vince, is they had a very bad season in, 25, right? They didn't get in the tournament. They blew more leads after the sixth inning than any team in the Big Ten times 2. So they had leads, they'd blow them. So Joe said they did two things. They went out, they bolstered their pen, Joe obviously being one of them. They bolstered their bullpen, but he said they went after players coming from winning programs. And he said that's changed the culture at Maryland. He said apparently last season it was not as serious, and so they went out. They got a lot of people that came from winning cultures: Vanderbilt, Louisiana State University, West Virginia Joe, and he said that has changed the culture in the locker room. To these kids came from winners and they want to win, and Joe said he thinks that's going to make a big difference. But this team is legit. They hit. They got power. Their defense is solid. They got speed, and they got a couple good starters and a revamped pen that I think is going to be lights out as they were last night. So very, very happy. We got a doubleheader today, and we only used 2 pitchers last night. So we're in really good shape going to this doubleheader.
Hey, John, you know what? Maryland, a lot of people don't know this that are outside the college baseball realm, but Maryland historically has been a really good baseball program. Right. I remember 10 years ago, they came out to the West Coast here where UCLA was I think they were the defending World Series champions. They came into the UCLA region, took out the Bruins, took out Ole Miss, and won the Western Regional here in Los Angeles. So it was about 10 years ago. And though they haven't ventured to Omaha a lot, but they're no question about it. Historically, Maryland's one of the top programs on the East Coast.
Well, the 2025 was not good. It was a very bad season. So let's see what happens in 26. But I think they're going to make some noise, and I look forward to seeing you, Vince and Tammy, at the University of California, Los Angeles UCLA series coming up in a couple of weeks. Now let's get to West Virginia baseball. Big win last night. I think it was 15-3. They were down 3-1 and then put up 14 unanswered. Same story, different year, a bunch of hits with 2 outs. They really have put together a good, solid team. Now, a couple updates, as you know, here, Brendan, and then we'll get you involved in it. Update number 1, their number 1 pitcher, Chase Meyer, who I project to go first round top 10, $5-6 million, $4-5-6 million. Great stuff. He is out for about a month and a half. So they're going to have to go through the first half of the season without him, or first 6 weeks. He broke his finger playing basketball at the Saban's WVU Baseball Challenge. Saban said in a press conference that he broke his finger. This is a big deal. Saban said he broke his finger on the Thanksgiving break. So we were at the press conference. Trent had no reason to doubt that. He published a story. Within minutes of it going up on WVSportsNation.com, 2 members of Chase's family called me irate, disputed the story, said he didn't break his finger at Thanksgiving. He was careful. He's responsible. He didn't do that. And he broke his finger at playing basketball in a Saban's event called the WVU Challenge. And Coach Sabans, for as good as he is, has got to learn you can't lie to the media, because it is going to bite you in the ass. And so we revised the piece and called him out on that. Not a big deal, but as you get more mature, as you get a winning program, you got to come clean with the media. You got to tell the truth, because the way Saban's positioned that, Vince, and then I'm going to get to Brandon, was like he said, he broke his finger on the Thanksgiving break. He was not forthcoming about it in the interview we had on him, but the Chase's family was upset because the guys are looking at millions of dollars, right? They're upset because it made it appear like he went home for Thanksgiving and behaved in an irresponsible way that caused an injury and 5 or 6, 7 weeks of the season. So, Sabans has got to learn that. I understand Morgantown is a small market. You don't really have savvy people, but now you got us. So you just can't do that. Hopefully he'll.
Hey, you know what, John, can I jump in here? I mean, every coach runs their program differently, and I'm not saying what Coach Saban did was right, wrong, or indifferent, but my belief is, as being a head coach for, we stated the numbers before, once we reach a point in the fall, playing pickup basketball, snowboarding, skateboarding is off limits. you are a baseball player from usually about mid-fall on, and I don't even want my guys playing horse. And because let's be honest, baseball players can suffer some of the most odd injuries off the field than any athlete I know. I mean, you hear stories in the major league of a pitcher slamming his finger in a door or slipping coming out of the shower. I mean, the list is long historically. So we almost have to coddle our baseball players to make sure that, and put them in bubble wrap to make sure they're on the opening day roster. But hey, we all learn things along the way, but that's been my belief, monitoring my student athletes for a better part of 30 years.
Listen, I agree with you, and I'm certainly not going to dispute or argue about what Saban's challenge is, and the fact that he, put him in a situation where somebody got hurt. That's up to Saban's. My beef is, the days of unsophisticated media in Morgantown went out the window when V Sports Nation came on the scene. This is a serious media company. Anna and I own a major media company in America. So you just can't go in a press conference and lie. And that's what he did. It wasn't even a mistake. It was a bold-faced lie because he didn't want to put the emphasis on what his thing was at the challenge, and he put it on Chase, and that's why his family contacted me. I mean, I was in Des Moines or somewhere, Sioux City. My phone blew up immediately with several of his family members, and then I went to my son Jack that runs the site, and they put it in there and change the story. But the bottom line is, you can't go into a press conference and misinform the media and think you're going to get away with it. Statler?
Yeah, I agree. It's that's definitely a blow to the starting lineup, losing him. But I mean, look, they got tremendous talent all around. So I mean, this is going to be another impressive team. I mean, it started off kind of rocky, like you said earlier, John. They were down 2-0, then 3-1, and they couldn't really get much offense going. Then all of a sudden, they just started smacking Georgia Southern around. I don't know how they developed this formula for being so good at these 2-out rallies where they're smacking the ball around with 2 outs. They were very good at this last year, and they've picked right up on it this year, the first game of the season. Coach Saban's he did a hell of a job his first year winning the conference, and even going through the regionals. They had get multiple games where they were down like 5 runs late and they came back. I mean, this team just never dies. They're a resilient bunch, and I expect more of that this year. The road to Omaha has officially begun.
Well, they had a big win last night. Couple updates. Luke Lyman, one of their relievers, he's out for the season. He tore his UCL. So Luke has had a tough run. He was out last season up until the end. He was hurt. Now he's hurt again. So he's going to redshirt. So he'll come back next season as I guess a 5th or 6th year senior because he's missed two seasons now. So he's out. Also interesting that we heard that one of their D2 pitchers, one of the big ones they got, apparently did not have a good fall or a good winter. He did not start the game last night. I think his name starts with a K. Korn, I believe.
Yeah.
Was supposed to be like their Friday night starter, and I heard through the Vine that he just didn't have a good fall. He didn't have a good winter, and one thing about the Saban's program, that he has to get who you are. If you're not performing, you're not playing, and so we'll have to see what happens there. So they started a freshman last night, Brendan.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a shaky start for him for sure. He was having a hard time finding the strike zone, and I think he got pulled around the 3rd inning. You certainly don't want to go to your bullpen that early in the game, but that's kind of when they started getting their footing a little bit, because they weren't doing anything on either side of the ball. They were having problems even fielding at times. Couldn't get the bats going. But man, they heated up and they heated up big. I think you said earlier the final score was 15-3, 14 unanswered runs. I mean, and they did a lot of this last year, John. If you remember, they would get off to these really slow starts where they can't find any offense. Right. They're making mistakes in the field, then they just completely flip it around and they have a dominating win.
Well, they just hit, and as soon as you get, you play a school like Georgia Southern, their frontline starter, their Friday night starter was able to tame them for a couple innings. As soon as they got into the bullpen, game over. Georgia Southern just doesn't have the talent to be able to compete with that lineup. Now, let's get to Dan here, or anybody that wants to jump in. Baylor, yesterday. First of all, they go to the Puerto Rico Challenge. First pitch 9 a.m. Eastern. That should be a holiday, as far as I'm concerned, right? So you go to the Puerto Rico Challenge. I want to go there next season. Go to the Puerto Rico Challenge. First pitch 9 a.m. I think it was Baylor and Wake Forest. Record D1 baseball history. Record. Guy on Baylor, one game, first game.
Tice Armstrong.
3 grand slams, 3 grand salamis in one game. Like, how is that even humanly possible? And he does it in Puerto Rico. Somebody jump in here.
Yeah, Tice Armstrong, 3 grand slams on opening day. Baylor takes down New Mexico State 15-2. First time, I'm even shocked it's even happened before, but the first time that a player has hit 3 grand slams in a game since 1976. So huge day for Mr. Armstrong. I tell you, he set the bar high on opening day, did he not?
I don't know how you hit 3 grand.
Now, was that the first time since in college baseball, or just period?
To my knowledge, Division I baseball since 1976.
Okay. Yeah. I'm surprised it even happened then. I mean, 3 grand slams
exactly.
in one game? Holy cow.
That's a season.
Yeah, and I tell you what,
if you hit 3 grand slams in a season, you're happy. That's right.
Nobody was giving Baylor in the Big 12 this season in baseball any love whatsoever. No love for Baylor. But, hey, you know what? You get somebody hits 3 grand slams in one game.
Hey, I just looked through the scoreboard, and this obviously pertains to West Virginia in the Big 12 and Maryland in the big, I'm just going to say ACC in the Big 10. But Big 10 with some big wins yesterday. Michigan State takes down Louisville. Huge win there. Michigan takes down Oregon State. Houston from the Big 12 takes down Wake Forest, who is nationally ranked.
Right.
TCU takes down Vandy and the Vandy boys. Oklahoma, 10. Texas Tech, 3. So some really huge matchups on opening day. I mean, these are marquee matchups. These would be marquee matchups in May and June. And we're seeing it here in mid-February. So kudos to Division I baseball for really putting some heavyweights together on opening day weekend.
And John, my Virginia Cavaliers took down the mighty Seahawks of Wagner. I mean, let's face it, that's a big win.
Huge win for the Cavs.
I mean, Steve Saban said, like Coach Saban says, I can only beat the teams on my schedule.
That's right.
Yeah, but Coach, you're the one that put the schedule together. You're the one that put the non-con schedule together. So that's not really, true. You get to the conference, you're not in charge of that. That's the Big 12, but all these non-con games are you. So I can only, beat the teams on my schedule. Well, you're the one that scheduled them, Steve. So that's kind of funny. But this segment brought to you by my great friends at Colonial Downs Spring Meet, March 12th. That's my birthday. Remember that. Spring Meet, March 12th, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday the 14th. 3-day meet. Yes, we're going to have a suite there. Yes, we're going to be doing our show there. Yes, I love Colonial Downs. Yes, the Virginia Derby is on Saturday. Highlighted Vince and Brendan. Brendan, you got to come to Richmond. It'll do your soul some good, Brendan. Maybe I'll give you some.
I have a guest room. I have a guest room. You can stay with me.
Yeah.
There you go, Brendan.
Stay with Dan. Come to Richmond.
I have a beautiful place.
Let's go. Maybe I'll invite Dan to come too. It's my favorite place to our suite. Dan, if you're nice to me, you can come to our suite. This is highlighted by the Virginia Derby on Saturday, March 14th. Tickets on sale now. And, of course, the winner of the Virginia Derby gets a one-way ticket to Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby. You don't want to miss that. So tickets are on sale now. Go to Ticketmaster.com. You can join us on Saturday, March 14th for the Virginia Derby, a day full of thrilling races. Plus, you get entertainment, you get music, and more. Gates are going to open at 10:30 a.m. First post noon. Now, parking is free. General admission tickets are just $5. Don't tell me you don't have $5. Just go to Ticketmaster.com. General admission, children under 5 get in for free, so bring your kids if they're under 5. Now, if they look like 15 and you say they're 5, that's not gonna fly. We're gonna pray for sunshine and great weather. More information, go to colonialdowns.com. That's colonialdowns.com, and you're good to go.
John,
Yeah.
I would love to go to Colonial Downs. The problem is the state of California would charge me an exit tax if I left California to go there.
Virginia might charge you an entrance tax.
Well,
if
there you go. Get taxed both ways.
Therefore, you can't go anywhere, right? You're just stuck. You're just stuck there. But yeah, that's that's kind of basically the way it rolls. Here we are. This is amazing, guys. And I know Vince is a baseball coach, and I've got a son that plays for Maryland, and Brendan Statler covers, WV at WVSportsNation.com. But here we are talking the first 35 minutes of a sports show on, what is it, February 14th,
Valentine's Day,
about D1 baseball. If you go back, Vince and Brendan, Dan, 10 years, like nobody even knew when D1 baseball season started, right? I mean, maybe you got interested when the playoffs came. Maybe you got interested in the super regionals, but fans wouldn't show up except for the SEC. Nobody would come. Nobody knew about it. Nobody covered it. Certainly didn't have all the games on ESPN. What happened? What has been the driving force here that has made D1 baseball such a big deal?
I think if you go back in time 15, 20 years ago, D1 baseball started basically when California JUCO baseball started in late January, early February, and the NC2A basically moved forward moved the schedule back to start it later. And I know there's been even more talk about starting the D1 season even later than what they do right now. Well, you wonder, what does that have to do? Well, it allows the northern schools to kind of be on a somewhat even playing field with the warm weather schools. And I think that has really made college baseball a truly national sport, because in the past, if you weren't from California, Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida, I mean, you had almost zero chance of making it to the College World Series. And now we've seen how things have changed over time. And I'm telling you, I really believe that if the NC2A, especially with Division I level, if they can move that start time even to maybe late February or the 1st of March, now you're kind of combining that with Major League Baseball. A lot of people don't have ingrained in their mind, it's baseball season, it's February. But once teams break for spring training, people start kind of getting into that mindset. Oh yeah, spring training in Arizona and Florida, baseball is upon us. Well, if we can combine that with the college game, I think you have a sport at the Division I level. I mean, it's never going to be on equal footing with college football and college basketball, but it'll be a close third.
So Vince, I'm going to push back on that, and I'll get Brendan here and Dan to be the tiebreaker. I think the reason it's gaining popularity is because you start in February when there's nothing else going on. I mean, if this, look, we have no hockey, we've got the Olympics, the Super Bowl's over, there is no football, you got college basketball, but it's very early in this season, so you got nothing going on. So therefore, here we are talking about it for an hour instead of talking about who's winning spring training games and who looks good and who's hurt when the major leagues break camp. So I'm going to push back on that. I think it's the opposite. I think the NCAA's got the start date right. Brendan Statler.
Yeah, I think it's part of that, John, but I think another big reason why it's grown so much, and you alluded to this earlier, is the fact that we've moved into the streaming world, because they don't air this on the ESPN channels. They air it on ESPN Plus primarily. So the fact that we've evolved more into the streaming type of world, it's more accessible to people. And it's you have some way to watch it other than actually buying a ticket and going to the game. And then you have, you can follow it on social media. So the evolution of how we take in media, I think, has helped a lot with the game too.
Like mom watched the mom and watched them. I'm sorry, guys, and watched the game last night. I sent her a link to something I never heard of it called Flow TV, FLO. No idea what it is.
That's how you watch wrestling sometimes.
So, some kind of a streaming service. And Anna was like, hey, because Maryland doesn't have a radio network like West Virginia does, except for the game I do in a couple weeks. But so she's like, hey, how do I follow the game? And so I looked it up, and I subscribed to this thing called Flow TV, and there I signed up, $10 a month or something, hit the button, boom, there's the game, right? They got an announcer, they got video. It was pretty good. I don't know what the hell it is, but you're right. I think it's a streaming. Dan?
Well, when before we started the show this morning off air, Vince referred to the program as the Island of Misfits Toys. I may be a misfit here. Yeah, to me, this is still kind of college basketball season. But that's my ACC country rooting interest coming through here. Virginia's had a good 12-ish years, I guess, under Tony Bennett and now Ryan Odom. But big game tonight against Ohio State in Nashville for whatever reason. I don't know why we're going to Tennessee to play a game non-conference against Ohio State in the middle of February, but we're doing it.
Well, you got to tune up. I mean, you got to get
Hey, it'll be good for the K-POM or whatever the whole whatever that rating is. I'm having a senior moment here thinking about the NCAAs and getting into the quad one,
the strength of schedule thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we're both having senior moments now.
What's the acronym for that, Vince? That's strength of schedule. There's an acronym for that. What
K-POM
RPI.
RPI, that's it.
RPI.
RPI,
Okay, there we go.
yeah.
Okay, it was that simple, but yeah. Right. So yeah, so it's a good RPI game for a good
like
tune-up
Joe
game.
Said to me last night, he's like, all we got to do is beat UCLA in UCLA one out of those 3 games, and our RPI skyrockets, and that helps us get in the tournament. So that's now a big deal, no doubt about it. Okay, let's get to the Olympics. Wow, I mean, seeing our skier come back from that Achilles injury and then go down in that fall and then get jetted off. Now she had multiple surgeries. What was you guys' take on that? I mean, should she? I mean, I get the courage, I get the heart she has, but was that really the right thing to do for her body? Anybody?
Go ahead, Brendan.
Well, I mean, looking at it now, I would certainly say no, because clearly her body was not ready to compete at this time. But I mean, I get it. I mean, this is something that these people train for all year. This is what they do. This is their passion. So I'm not going to fault her for it. Hindsight's always 20/20. But I mean, clearly she was not at 100% and probably should not have been competing.
My take on this, I'm hard to disagree with you, Brendan, on that one. But she qualified, number one. It wasn't like she was a wild card entry or anything like that. And her training run was pretty good. And the lead up to that was pretty good. She was having a pretty decent season on the World Cup. So, I mean, hey, Lindsey Vonn, I mean, it's her. If she wants to race and she qualifies for it, it's her choice. Right. I don't think anybody can say, no, you can't because you don't have an ACL. Well, that's not your ACL. That's her non-ACL. So I have no problem with it. I'm sure. I bet if you were to ask Lindsey Vonn, would you do it all over again? I bet she would say yes.
Yeah, she would say yes. What a
I
tough
agree with
lady.
that, actually.
Hey, let me give you guys a sidebar, and I'm going to give this one to Dan. Dan, you're not going to see this one coming.
Uh-oh.
So it's been reported. Look, I know this is a family show, but I mean, it is what it is. It's been reported in Italy at the complex where all these, Brendan knows where I'm going with this, where all the students are there. It's been reported that the Olympic Committee had, get this, 10,000 condoms available to the athletes, and they've been there 2 weeks, and they ran out. So now they got to go ship more condoms in. They are out of condoms. They went through 10,000 condoms in 3 weeks in Italy in the Olympic housing complex. So now they have to get more condoms. I think didn't we ship like 1 million of them to Hamas or something? Maybe they can go in there and get them. But they ran
Talk
out
about
of
going
condoms.
for the gold there, John.
Isn't that like tough on the legs or something? Isn't that what they said in Rocky?
Yeah, women weaken legs. But yeah, no, it's yeah. But, well, ultimately it worked for Rocky, I guess. He did okay over the course of the career there.
You could also go get. You could also go and get tampons from Minnesota as well. It's needed from the boys'
The boys' room.
Yeah.
Look, gentlemen, the ghost of Wilt Chamberlain couldn't relate.
No kidding.
I mean,
oh my
how do you
gosh.
go through? Look, I'm all for having fun, but how do you go through
These
10,000
guys
condoms
train
in
hard and they play hard.
3 weeks?
So, evidently. Wow.
Damn.
That is.
Damn, do they have a disposal thing for that? I don't even know. This is probably end.
Well,
end
hey,
up in the
I'm
Bible.
in Virginia. This is a true story, guys. I don't think you guys probably know this. In fact, I'd be a little alarmed if you did. I used to do a fair amount of ride sharing driving. And maybe 6-7 years ago, I had somebody in my car who was an executive for Trojan, who proceeded to tell me that the county in which I live, which is Chesterfield County, the same place where the same county. Yeah, is your studio in Chesterfield or is it in Richmond? It's in Richmond, isn't it, John?
South,
okay,
South
so
Richmond.
I'm just west of where John's studio is in Richmond, but Chesterfield County, the suburban county in outside of Richmond in Virginia, is basically where the world's supply of condoms is made. So yes, Chesterfield County produces all of those condoms that have now gone to, I guess, good use in Milano, Italy during the course of the Olympics here. Could even make it through all 2 weeks, all 16 days of the games. Yeah.
So should we be buying stock on the New York Stock Exchange for Trojan condoms?
It would seem that way, there, Vince. I think so.
Sales are up, right?
I'll talk to my financial consultant.
Speaking
How do we
toys,
know they were using Trojan? It might be a different brand, maybe a waste
That's
of
true
money.
too.
could have been Magnum.
We gotta figure that out. Yeah.
Oh my god!
It was some off-brand. That's why they had to
See what you started, John? This is all on you, buddy.
Yeah.
How
How the hell did this start?
It was a news story, and I just thought it was,
Went
Prada versus Prado. It wasn't Trojan. It was Trajan.
Yeah.
It's like, oops, we bought the wrong brand. They all broke.
Oh my
That's what I was gonna say. That's
God.
why they went through so many of them. They just
Yeah.
kept ripping. Got the next generation of Olympic athletes on the way.
Oh my gosh.
Well, at least there must be something about the Italian experience.
I need
I don't know.
I need to go to extra church this week after that conversation. Good Lord.
Well, listen, let me just tell you that Brendan, I don't know what your personal situation is, but you need to be healthy. I mean, I don't know. You can do 10,000, but you need to be healthy. And in order to get healthy, you need a good night's sleep, right? You don't get a good night's sleep, you're going to feel like crap in the morning. And even if you say, well, I'm getting 6 or 7 hours, I'm getting 8, you're tossing and turning, you're up in the middle of the night, you're not in your REM sleep, you're that deep sleep like I get every night. That's why I jump out of bed. I'm in Iowa, I'm there. Got another bus tour coming up. It was good to get outside of the Beltway, I'll tell you that. So here's what I do, right? And everybody in my family, we take REM sleep. Go to healthycell.com, healthycell.com. And I know there's thousands of my listeners right now that say, oh, John, there you go again. Well, there I go again because you haven't ordered it. If you just order it, I'll stop doing it because then I know you're getting a good night's sleep and you're healthy. Because sleep, like Dr. Oz says, and Maha says, sleep is the most important thing your body can get, especially as you get older. Don't underestimate it. That's when everything replenishes and you got to get in that deep REM sleep. Just go to healthycell.com, healthycell.com. You want to get your sleep right there, tear it off. It's a gel pack, down it, 15 minutes. You're out like a light. You're going to sleep through the night. You're going to go into deep sleep. Now, the other thing you want to get is their multivitamin. It's in a gel pack. You take it once a day because you're traveling around, you're doing things. your body can't get all the nutrients it needs, but Healthy Cell will take care of that with your multivitamin. I take it every day. Ann takes it every day. I put it out for when I leave. If I'm going out of town, I stack them up, take these every day, because that's how you stay healthy and fit, and you feel better. And then, if you want to lose weight, when you feel better, and first of all, you're trying to lose weight and you're not getting enough sleep, zero chance. You just can't do it. You got to get a good night's sleep. That's why I'm trying to go to bed early, but REM sleep's the key. HealthyCell.com, promo code Godzilla, you're going to get 20% off your first order. 20% off your first order. I'm giving it away, trying to help you guys and gals. So order that today, and you're good to go. Okay, we got a couple minutes here.
Hey, well, I see the omega-3 in that as well, too, for heart health, man. I'm telling
Very
you,
good.
when you reach our age, John, omega-3 is the key, man.
See, and you got to stay healthy because you've got life after Taft. You're going to be a D1 baseball coach somewhere. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to try to recruit some of your best players. I know what you're going to do. You're going to go there, you're going to be on the phone, and you're going to be doing emails, and you're going to be doing Zoom calls, trying to get your best players in to your new gig. I'm excited for you, Vince. I really am. It's a new chapter in your life. And Mitch said he cried during your press conference.
Oh, Mitch.
He cried.
Mitch.
He's not here today.
Come on, Mitch. Man up, Mitch.
I know, my man up, right? Get me the host so I'm not corralled into the thing.
I'm saying man up, and I think I was
likes.
crying during my conference the other day, too. So
I know, you got a little choked up there, right? You got a little choked up. Al says, Mitch, please. Al, I know Mitch is the host, right? I got stuck with it because of Valentine's Day. I have no lights. I forgot those on the bus. Al's like kind of pissed at me, but hey, it's not my fault, right? I shouldn't even be here. So 888-480, John, turn this over to Statler next. 888-480-5646 if you guys want to weigh in. And okay, before we go to the break, we got 3 minutes. What's your biggest surprise in the Olympics, Brendan Statler?
My biggest surprise has to be the women's hockey team, the U.S. women's hockey team. Man, they are not only winning, they are dominating the competition. They are outshooting their opponents by like 30 at times. They look impressive.
They're fun to watch too, Dan.
They are.
Dan, biggest surprise so far in the Olympics.
Well, I'll go technically outside the lines here. I liked the Norwegian guy who decided to say, "Oh, I'm really sorry about cheating on my girlfriend," and sort of stole the thunder of the whole, biathlete, not a bi-athlete, but a biathlete who decided, I guess, on national or international television to admit to being unfaithful to his girlfriend. That was interesting.
Coach?
Well, it's not a surprise, but speaking of Norway, Norwegian cross-country skier Johannes Kleibo already has 3 gold medals, shooting for another 3, could be the most decorated winter Olympic athlete of all time. The guy is an absolute beast. Now, I'm not a cross-country aficionado, but watching those cross-country skiers, I don't think there's a more difficult sporting event than cross-country skiing. Those, they leave it all on the snow, literally. And I mean, meaning all, I mean, they are foaming out of the mouth when they cross the finish line, throwing up, passing out. They use every ounce of energy in their body. And I'm telling you, kudos to the cross-country skiers. I guess the biggest surprise would happen to be Ben Ogden, the first Olympic medalist in cross-country skiing since 1976. And Godzilla, you probably remember this name, Bill Koch, who won the silver medal in the 30K back in 1976 at the Innsbruck, Austria Olympic Games.
All right, that's a wrap. My biggest thing is I got to tell you, I switched to Dan. I think, you win a gold medal and then you say, I want to get my girlfriend back. I mean, on like an international forever platform, I think that's, man, that took something. I hope him and his girlfriend work it out. That took balls. And hey, people make mistakes. Whoever your girlfriend is, take this guy back, man. When you can give that kind of contrition on that, just international TV. Dan, that's something else, right? So,
How many condoms did he use at this event?
I knew you were going there.
Somebody
I
had to
knew
do
you
it.
were going
Well
there,
played, Brendan. Well played, sir.
he probably got the last condom of the 10,000. You are on Godzilla Wins. We're going to take a quick break, and our crew little downsized today, but we got Dan Hegwood here bailing us out. Brendan Stowler, Coach Vince. Vince, are you staying with us, or you got to?
I will stay for another hour, John.
Good,
just because
we're a
I
little short-handed, and I got a host, and Mitch is doing the Valentine's Day thing. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to all you ladies out there. I'm going to be right back. You're on Godzilla Wins. Stay with us.
West Virginia Sports Nation gives you a top-of-the-mountain view of the Mountaineers sports landscape. See what's happening in all the sports, far beyond football, basketball, and baseball. Gymnastics, track and field, rowing, swimming and diving, golf, volleyball, tennis. More sports, more stories. If the Mountaineers play the game, WVSportsNation.com has it covered. Up-to-date and insightful articles written by Mountaineers for Mountaineers Nation. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com.
The best part about waking up in the morning is a great cup of coffee, and I get this every day with my 1775 coffee. It's rich, it's bold, best tasting coffee I've ever had. Single origin, farmed in Bolivia, 7,000 feet. It's always fresh, roasted daily. This is the best coffee you're ever going to get. Go to 1775coffee.com, 1775coffee.com. Promo code Godzilla, 10% off. It's going to make your day every day.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Order online fast and save $45. Your kit with prescriptions to treat common and life-saving illnesses is rushed to your door. Visit twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla.
John Frederick, your Godzilla of truth, fiercely independent.
No ties to Wall Street. I promote Main Street.
The John Frederick Media Network, privately owned and operated, on top of the issues on air and online.
Trucking the truth every day for 14 years.
The John Frederick Show drives your morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. The only independent White House correspondent with live reports from the White House. Hit JohnFredericksRadio.com. Watch at JFMN.tv. John Frederick, your Godzilla of truth.
Who's going to stop me now?
Nobody. John Fredericks, he's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh, yeah.
For entertainment purposes only.
Is John frozen?
He said it was cold. He said it was cold in Wilmington, so I guess we should have believed him.
Coach
very
Vic.
cold here. It's like
Well, Brendan, I was going to say that we might have another apology tour in 9 months if if the condoms, if the Trajan condoms didn't work in Milano, you know.
We might see one of those commercials where you may be entitled to compensation here later. Might see that here soon. We might have to have a substitute host here for a minute.
Well, I know that the next topic on the list of topics, it looked like, although I guess, were we going to do a Winter Olympics update at this point, or is that done? I guess
I think let's talk more about the Olympics.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that.
So let's talk some ice hockey here.
Yeah, let's
US 1-0. They took down Latvia. Believe today they've got Denmark, and tomorrow Germany. And boy, guys, does this look like a gold medal sure to be matchup, Canada versus the US?
Seems like they're on a collision course. Yeah,
it seems like that's the case all the time, isn't it?
Well, at least it is. It seems like, I mean, don't have to go back too far to where the U.S. really wasn't all that relevant, and at least now, if they're not the team to beat in these international settings, at least they're in the mix with. I mean, it's U.S. Canada. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's a heck of a thing for the U.S. that just was an also ran for the longest time in the sport of hockey, and now
last year when the NHL ran their kind of precursor to the Olympics.
That was the greatest idea ever.
Wasn't it? That was
awesome.
That was must-see TV.
It was awesome.
Must-see TV.
The Kachuk brothers dropping the mitts at the same time when their game against Canada. Man, they need to do that again at some point. I think they have plans to. That was, in my opinion, better than. And I love the NHL All-Star Game. It's probably the only All-Star Game I care for. Don't really care for baseball All-Star Game anymore, and the Pro Bowl in the NFL has been a joke for 15 years to this point. But NHL, they do a great job with their All-Star Game. But man, the Four Nations, I think, was even better than their All-Star Game.
No, I would agree. And I brought this up yesterday, and I think Brendan, you were kind of had my back on this one. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, so to speak. But man, I miss not seeing Russia in these Olympics, and maybe not in the other sports, but definitely in the hockey. I mean, you can't tell me that a Russia in the hockey tournament wouldn't be I mean, now you're talking about a three-headed monster: Canada, the U.S., and Russia. And you talk about a collision course just to get into the gold medal round. I mean, it's too bad that we don't see Ovechkin and Malkin and the whole laundry list of outstanding hockey players that Russia has. And I understand, politics and all that kind of stuff. But man, I mean, it's sports. Let's distance ourselves from politics as much as we can and just let them play.
No, and I agreed with you 100%, Coach. And the reason is this: I don't care what side of the issue you're on when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war. This should not be solely based on morality, having these athletes there. Whatever their world leaders do, they do. But if we're going to set this standard to where we don't allow a particular nation to compete because of immoral acts that their leaders have done, then why do we allow a country, not to get political, but why do we allow a country like China to compete? Look what they do to the Uyghurs over there. And I'm not advocating for China to be kicked out necessarily, but it's the same standard. Like, if we're going to do this with Russia, I could think of plenty of nations that should not be competing in the Olympics that currently are. It's just it's not consistent. It's all to go along with the narrative, I believe. I'm trying to not get political, so I'm trying to watch how I phrase this. But you guys get what I'm trying to say, and I think everybody that's listening gets what I'm trying to say. Either we let everybody compete, or there's some other nations that should be disqualified from competing as well.
Well, and the athletes, they train for years and years and years to go to an Olympic Games, and for something like this to stall those plans and those hopes and those dreams, I just don't think that that's fair to the athletes. They're not deciding to go to war or to invade a country or anything else like that. They're just trying to make a name for themselves and accomplish the dreams that they've had ever since they were probably little kids. I don't particularly love that either. And I guess it happened in 1980 when at least it was potentially going to be the case that the Russians weren't going to go to the Olympic Games and the Winter Olympics. Then I guess they didn't go in '84, right, to the Summer Games in LA.
Well, yeah, in 1980, Jimmy Carter, if I can go back in my history books, because Russia or Soviet Union at that time had invaded Afghanistan, Jimmy Carter, our president, decided to not send our Olympic team to the 19 Summer Olympics. Coming off the 1980 Winter Olympics, the Miracle on Ice, coincidentally. And then in 84, when we hosted the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, the Soviet Union said, okay, well, two can play this game. We're not coming to your games either. So it was a lot of, I'm taking my toys and leaving the sandbox type of thing. It solved nothing. It had nothing to do with world peace. It had nothing to do with that. Let's be honest, guys, the greatest hockey player of this generation, Alex Ovechkin. We'll never see him in another Olympics because in 4 years he'll be done. And this was our last shot. Much like
I got to go with
Crosby. I think I'm going to go Sidney Crosby, but yeah.
but I am a
you guys are biased.
Here,
you guys have your allegiance to the Penguins, but
and don't forget
let me curb here. The top two, one of the top two hockey players of our generation.
The best goal scorer for sure.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
I can agree with that. And Vince, like you said earlier, how it takes away from the competition level, not having Russia there. Go back to the 2014 Winter Olympics that was in Sochi, Russia, by the way. Right. Remember the game, the United States versus Russia, the famous TJ Oshie game, where he was taking every shootout shot. And it was actually a funny story, a little sidebar here. We had recorded it at home because it was, so early in the day or so late, one of the two. We got to the last game-winning shot that TJ Oshie took. The game ran over. The recording ran out as the puck was in the air after you. So we had to look it up who won. We're like, no, but that was such a great game. And you're right. You got players like Malkin and Ovechkin that are never going to see the Olympics again. And for what? Yeah. Because you disagree with something the Russian president did? I mean, it's just it's ridiculous. This is the problem with politics in sports, right? So you go back to the days of, the players kneeling during the national anthem in the NFL. People watch sports, whether it's the NFL, NHL, MLB, even the Olympics. We watch it to distract from, all that stuff. We need an escape from all that stuff. We watch sports to be entertained. We watch it for the love of competition. And, there really is no in between. Once you do something like this, it's entering politics in sports, either way you look at it. And it's just, it's bad for every sport, no matter whether it's something you agree with politically or disagree with. It's something that should not happen in sports at any level.
Well said. Well said.
Hear. Yep. Well, should we move on to the topic of Big Ten college football expansion, their proposal to move to a 24-team format and just get rid of conference championship games altogether?
Let's do it. Take it away, Coach Vince.
Yeah, what do you think, Coach?
I'll be honest, I didn't do my homework. I had heard rumors of this, but it does not surprise me. Now, to my understanding, there was talk about expanding it from 12 to 16 this upcoming year, but they're holding solid at 12, right, for 2026? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
I think that's accurate.
Yeah. So are they looking at 2027 and beyond? Is that what they're kind of looking at as far as the Big Ten proposal?
I believe it's something. I forget the exact timeline, but it's not too far in the near future from what I understand.
Mm-hmm. And the 24-team model, playoff model, I think models the FCS model, right? I believe they are at 24. Does that sound correct? I believe they are. I'm kind of answering my own question here, but I believe that is the case where you have, I think, four.
Let's see here. The timeline for the
first round bye, I believe.
Yeah. The timeline for the Big Ten proposal is 16 teams, 27 and 28, followed by a 24-team format by 2029.
There you go. And taking away all conference title games, correct?
No automatic qualifiers. The proposal would not include automatic qualifiers. Let's see here. Yeah, no, I don't think any conference championship games, and yeah, artificial hurdles.
That's
As
the
far as the
one.
Big Ten
If
is
that's the
concerned,
case, gosh, I think there still should be some
I agree with you.
credence if you win. I mean, to put on your resume, hey, we're the
Yeah.
the Mountain West champs or the Sun Belt champions. I think that's something that means something.
This is the same idea as the idea in the NFL that we should just go to a divisionless, conferenceless, NFL where it's just okay. The best 14 teams get in or whatever else to the playoffs, regardless of who's the division winner or who's in what conference or whatnot. And I kind of like conferences and divisions in sports generally.
I like it too. Who doesn't want to see a 6-10 Redskins team go into the playoffs? One year, right?
Well, heck. Hold on. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that the first year that it'd be the second year that the Giants knocked off the Patriots in the Super Bowl in 2011. Wasn't that Giants team? Wasn't that a 9-7 team that just got in? I mean, my Steelers in 2005, they were the last team into the playoffs and ended up running the table. Now, I thought that they were the best team in football that year and just got hampered by injuries throughout the regular season. So I thought, man, if they can just get in, I think they'll go on a run. Even though that had never happened before, I felt pretty confident about their chances. But yeah, if you don't have these situations where you allow for those sorts of things, you don't get those sort of rooting interests and novel stories.
Yeah, and you know what? Especially if they're talking long-term 24 teams, I think you're allowed 3 or 4 teams that maybe don't have a great overall record but win their conference title. I think those. I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, with that. Now, I understand if you have an 8-team playoff, and yeah, you probably want the best 8 teams there from a record standpoint. But when you have 24 teams, and I don't know, I'll just throw this out there. If Fresno State wins the new Pac-12 title, and they have a 10-2 record, I mean, they deserve to go. Why not?
How many conferences?
24 teams. Let's have
how many conferences are there?
Champions. Yeah.
How many conferences are there?
Well, there are 4 power.
I know that.
Power 4s, and then there are currently. Well, there will be 6 with the Pac-12 coming back. 6. Well, they call group of 6, I guess it would be. So 10 conferences in the United States when it comes to Division I football. Yeah.
So if every conference winner went to this 2014 playoff, that would still allow for 14 at-large bids. And what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Why do we need to get rid of the conference champions if you still have more at-large bids than we have in the playoff altogether as we currently stand?
I don't know how you're able to exclude somebody that wins a conference. So I mean, like, what else are you playing for throughout the season, really?
As a coach, that's one of the first things, the checklists that we have is when we address our team, win your
division,
every game, the most important game of the season, but your long-term plan is, win a conference title. And then next is, postseason and all
exactly.
that. But
that's my point.
Win your conference.
That's a step on the ladder. Yeah. John, what are your thoughts?
I just don't see the downside. I mean, all of the Miami kind of blew up the argument about they didn't deserve to be there. Notre Dame should have been there. But it just gets rid of the argument. It makes every game during the season more meaningful because so many more teams have a shot to get in. And I just don't see the downside here. And I would rather see more of these kids have an opportunity to get in the national spotlight by expanding this than it is now, because at the end of the day, when you've got 18 guys sitting in a room deciding Notre Dame or Miami or this team or that team, based on what, and it's always going to be aggravating to people. You're always going to get that in the NCAA, round of 64, and they expanded that with those playing games, right? Remember, that was like a big deal when they went to they went from 64 to 70 or 68, and they had playing games.
The first 4, yeah.
And so it went to 68, right? And then everybody complained about that, but it was a good thing because it gave teams a shot, to play another meaningful game. I just don't see the downside.
Now, what do you think about eliminating conference championships, though?
forget going to Europe or anything else. You need to be the next host of Godzilla Wins. I was watching you. You're good. That's your career right there.
Me?
Yeah, Vince.
Hey, you can't afford me, Godzilla.
That's true.
John? What do you think about the proposal about eliminating conference championships? Which, I mean, I guess you might as well eliminate conferences if you're going to do that, but not just expanding the playoff, but also eliminating the championships for automatic
I hate
bids.
that part of it because you play to win the conference championship.
Yeah, you agree with us then. Yeah,
you play to win the conference. I agree with you guys 100%. And then and if you do that, then you get rid of all the conference rivalries because they just become another game on the schedule.
That's another thing I was thinking, John. That kind of like takes some of the luster out of some of these matchups, I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, you have these long-standing conference matchups with big conference games, and it takes that away. And the conference. What I don't like is you get a conference championship, and then they don't get in the tournament. Like Duke. I mean, Duke won the conference. They won the NCAA. It's a Power Four conference. I don't care if they suck or not. They won the conference. They deserve to get there. So all the conference teams should be there without a doubt. And I think that's the way they open up. You guys were talking about teams that made the Super Bowl. Remember when the Steelers beat the Cardinals? The Cardinals were 7-9. They were under 500. But hey, newsflash, they won their conference. And that's the way the rules are written. So, they get to go to the Super Bowl and actually almost won that game. So I don't think
not quite.
Well, they were competitive, right?
They were
27-23.
Yeah, it was
Antonio Holmes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I like that idea, but
the original Tony Toe Tap. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get back, but I want to get back to a Pac-12. I think Vince, you being in California, I mean, there's just something missing in collegiate athletics without a Pac-12. What you guys think of? What was it, South Dakota State or North Dakota?
North Dakota State, the Bison. Yeah.
What'd you think of that move going?
Well, you know what? I look back in time with the Pac-12 because let's be honest. I mean, I don't think this is a West Coast situation government. We go back 15, 20, 25 years. I mean, the Pac-12 was arguably one of the top 2 or 3 conferences in America. And I'll use my West Coast bias. I think the best conference in America. And what was the downfall with the Pac-12 is when Oklahoma and Texas entertained the thought of leaving the Big 12 and joining the Pac-12. And the Pac-12 arrogant presidents, Stanford, Cal, USC, said, "Oh no, we're an academic conference. We can't have Oklahoma and Texas joining our conference." And that was the beginning of the end right there. And then, lo and behold, we see UCLA and USC 5 years ago basically say, "Hey, you know what? We're out of here. We're going to the Big Ten." And then it just dwindled down from there. And now we were left with Oregon State and Washington State as the last 2 survivors of the old Pac-12. And now we have Fresno State, Utah State, Colorado State, Boise State, and a number of other basically Mountain West schools, San Diego State, joining the Pac-12. It's sad. It really is, because to me, growing up as a young kid, John, I know you can relate to this. Obviously I'm on West Coast time. You were on East Coast time. But was there any better event than seeing the Pac-12 champion, whoever, Washington Huskies, UCLA Bruins, USC Trojans, playing the Big Ten champ at the Rose Bowl with the San Gabriel Mountains overlooking the bowl? I mean, there was
greatest game.
Nothing better. The best visual in all of sport.
New Year's Day, 4:00 Eastern time. You plan your New Year's dinner around that game. You either ate before it or you ate after it. That was the game of the year, without a doubt. And now that's gone. I mean, it's really too bad. So yes, I mean, growing up, at families like my family, I mean, my father and my mother both dead now. my father planned the whole day around the Rose Bowl. There were games earlier and there was a game at night. I don't remember, but it was all about the Rose Bowl at 4 o'clock, the Rose Bowl parade that was on, in the morning when we got up. So it's a tradition that, as sad as go, but I'm in favor of the revitalization of the Big 12, and you got to rebuild it. And I like some of those teams. And I know you want your better teams in it, but I like some of those teams in there. Fresno State, San Diego State, some of these Mountain West teams. Let's give them a shot. Let's get a conference. And then right now it's not Power Four, but let's get a conference and see what happens.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
This segment brought to you by another one of our long-term 7-year founding sponsors, Mike Lindell of MyPillow. Every sponsor on on Godzilla Woods has been here for 7 years. Do you know how hard that is? Like, nobody stays with you for 7 years. People on my show, I don't have anybody I've been on 15 years. I got 2 customers been with me for 15 years. They don't do it, but they love our show. And that's Mike Lindell. Right now, Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees, they want to thank you for your great support in 25. They want to make 26 the best year ever. So as a thank you for Godzilla Wins listeners, they're giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing right now. So they're bringing back the mega sale, MEGA, mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, right? Regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA MyPillow. Go to My Mattress Topper and also the Mattress Topper, which we have. You can save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98. Thank you, Dawn Curtis, for that. Or the 6-pack towel set, best ever, $39.90. I'm sorry. Oh, it went down again. $34.98 for the 6-pack towel set. Can't get that ever. $34.98. Get the best specials ever. Go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code Godzilla. MyPillow.com, promo code Godzilla, or call 800-854-0504. 800-854-0504. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Godzilla. Order now, and your entire order ships absolutely free. Get it now, and also get your MyPillow slippers, which I have on right now. Anyway, it's good to have you guys with us. Vince, you're such a good host. I just want you to continue on. I'm having such a good time listening to you. It's being the makeshift host here.
Like every coach moving to broadcasting after retiring.
There you have it. There you have it.
Great. And
interesting with that. That's kind of, I don't know. We'll kind of take a detour with that. I was actually, obviously, since my announcement the other day, legendary college baseball coach Jim Case, who was for years a pitching coach at Mississippi State, took over the Jacksonville State program in Alabama and really turned them into a mid-major power. He retired a couple of years ago, and he reached out to me yesterday and congratulated me on a career and all this. And he's mentioned, I hear that you have some other irons in the fire. And Jim has actually got into the broadcasting business. He's the voice, the color analyst for Jacksonville State. And I did not know this, but I'm sure maybe all 3 of you guys might know the name Eli Gold.
Hell yeah.
The voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I did not know this story. None of you guys are familiar with this. When Saban was retired, the University of Alabama said, okay, you're out of here, Eli Gold. I mean, a legendary voice. And he basically said, let me go one more year. My swan song. They said, nope, you're gone. He's now the voice of the Jacksonville State baseball team, and they do their ESPN Plus games. And I'm not even knowing that was Eli Gold. I remember last year watching a broadcast, for whatever reason, I'm watching Jacksonville State, and I noticed that sounds like Jim Case. And I'm thinking, man, that's a good tandem right there. And then talking to Jim yesterday, mentioning that Eli Gold is the play-by-play guy. Eli Gold, I don't know if you know this, John, grew up in New York City, uneducated, sold popcorn at Yankee games, but wanted to be a broadcaster. And Jim was telling me this yesterday, the last 7 innings of the game, when they would stop selling concessions, he would have his little recorder and basically do play-by-play of the Yankees games in the upper deck. And he got information out, and NASCAR reaches out to him. And I did not know this, but he was the voice of NASCAR for like 25 or 30 years, a kid from New York City announcing NASCAR. And then you start piecing the puzzles together. How does a kid from New York City become the voice of the Crimson Tide? Oh, he's the voice of NASCAR for 25, 30 years. Nice transition, but interesting story. But he said that Eli Gold is just the ultimate professional at what he does. He, even in his gig with Jacksonville State on ESPN Plus, the amount of hours that he prepares for his broadcast is unmatched. So anyhow, there's a little Eli Gold story for you.
Well, listen, you've got so many. This is the thing about you retiring after a quarter century. You're in good shape. Your kids are out of the house. You and Tammy empty nesters. You guys are free and easy. You can move. You got a pension, right? You got all that good stuff going on. So you got a lot of options. And now you really have the world is open up to you, and we're going to be following what you.
Well, it's because I have my pillow to sleep on. I have my healthy cell that I take every day, and in the morning I drink my 1775 coffee.
Well, I got to
tell you what, John, he really is ready to host in your place. he's got the sponsorship,
and I subscribe to WV Nation.
WVSportsNation.com. He's got it all. Like, why am I hosting this show when Mitch is out? You need to be.
I gotta say, I gotta jump in really quickly as the new guy. I love the reverence generally that sports players, coaches. I love the reverence I see from them for people on the broadcast side of the ledger. My dad grew up just in awe of Bob Prince in Pittsburgh. Bob Prince called Pittsburgh Pirates games. And just the way he would talk about Bob Prince. And I mean, obviously Vince knows more than just Eli Gold. I mean, there's clear reverence there for the people who follow these games and call them and make a living off of being that informed and being able to translate the game to a listening and viewing audience. It's noticeable. Yeah.
Yeah, last week, Dan, we kind of spent some time talking about the late great Sonny Jurgensen and talked about how great of a player he was, but he may have been a better announcer than he was a player. And we talked about, you go back in time, all the legendary announcers and how my and John's generation grew up listening to the transistor radio, of a Wednesday night game. I mean, you look back at Jack Buck and the St. Louis Cardinals and the mega station that would touch state after state after state, especially at late night broadcasts and I think that's how the Cardinals became such a popular sports team in the greater Midwest, because that signal went basically all the way to almost, you could actually get it on late night, even in California. It was such a powerful station.
Right. It's a 50,000 watt station.
My former employer, WRVA, that was a 50 watt station there. Yeah. My grandmother could listen to my dad calling UVA basketball games late at night, and she lived in Northwest Ohio. So,
wow.
Yeah. It's out there. So people grew up with that, but yeah, you're right. I mean, the reverence of broadcasters is there, which is our segue, Bob Prince, to baseball.
Yeah.
And so we got spring training just broke. Pitchers and catchers are there. Position players now there this week. I think they came a little bit later in the week. So we're going to start breaking things down. There's winners, there's losers, there's stand patters, there's nobody did anythingers, there's then there's the Pirates. So
yes, exactly.
Let's it's basically it. Their big splash was some Italian guy that nobody heard of. So that's a sad state of affairs. Let's start with National League East. Some of the big things there. Mets, obviously, major upgrades. Marlins did nothing. Atlanta dumped Ozuna, who went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yep. So Ozuna's gone. Nationals dumped their frontline starter, so they're in a total rebuild. Although I'm not a Nationals fan, and the only road game I will ever go to, ever, is a Nationals game. Only when Ben Tribbett gets me the suite, me and Ann. So I go for Ben. That's it. I will go to any other road games ever, including when the Astros play Pirates. So it is what it is. But I like what Washington did. Because to me, if you're going to do a fire sale and if you're going to do a rebuild, do a damn rebuild. I mean, that's what the Astros did. I went through 3 years of losing 110 games. I mean, it was horrible and painful. But the payoff from 15 to 26, 25, the 10-year payoff was unbelievable as a lifelong Astros fan. So the painful, no pain, no gain. I think Washington's do it the right way. They got rid of their frontline starter. They got great young players. I think they did a good move there. They were not going to sign him next year anyway, so that or 2 years that made sense. And the Twins did what should be a rebuild. Just get rid of everybody and start over. So you got that going on. But you got Mets and Phillies, same thing. Can the Phillies hang on? Or is it Mets? Did they make enough changes in order to finally, get out of the Mets doldrums of paying everybody and not winning? Let's start with Dan.
Well, I mean, the Mets obviously had high expectations for last year, and those kind of came crashing down. So they spent an awful lot of money, only to be not much better than the lowly Pirates, who don't spend anything at all. I mean, my problem with the sport generally, I'd say, we really need a salary cap for baseball. I think truly, more than a cap, I think we need a floor so that people like Bob Nutting will stop being so cheap.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I hope for at least for the Mets' sake, given that they're really trying to go for broke, that they will reap the benefits and reap what they've tried to sow. I think the projections are this year that they will win the NL East. So yeah, I guess maybe the Mets will follow up a disappointing 2025 with a good 2026.
Something's wrong with that clubhouse. I don't like the team. I don't like the clubhouse. There's something with that culture that is not right, Vince. And it's been going on for years, and they can't seem to fix it. You juxtapose that with the Phillies culture. I mean, this is just a winning culture of guys that get together. They make a lot of money. They go out there. They win. They sign wherever again. He wants to stay there. I mean, people want to stay there. Like Diaz didn't want to stay with the Mets. Like Schwarber wanted to stay there. I just think the Phillies, even though a couple of their pieces might not be like they had last season, I like the Phillies again to win this division, Vince. And until the Mets fix their soul, I don't see this team winning, Vince.
I would agree. But then on the flip side of that, it wouldn't shock me if the Mets made it to the NL Championship Series either, because of their talent level. The weird thing about the Phillies is, let's go back in time. Bryce Harper, obviously, when he came up with the Nationals, and ironically, here's a team, the Washington Nationals, the last year that he was there, I think they got beat maybe in the first round by the Giants. I can't quite remember. And then he becomes a free agent and takes the money and goes off to Philadelphia. And what happens the next year? The Washington Nationals win the whole thing. And so at that point, I thought, wow, Harper is great, but he's not a team guy. And there was talk with that group of Washington Nationals when they won the series that year. Yeah, we got better by subtraction without mentioning Harper's name. But when Harper came to the Phillies, it's almost like he's had a rebirth. And it seems like he is the ultimate team guy right now. He'll make sacrifices. I mean, here's a guy that, was an outfielder. And a lot of times, professional baseball players, when organizations try to move you to another position, they get butthurt. I mean, case in point, I'm drawing a total blank, but the Red Sox player that got traded to Denver, where he didn't want to he wanted to be third base. They wanted to move to first. They basically told him, you can go stick it, and they trade him 3 months later. But Harper's been just the opposite with that. I mean, he didn't take moving from the outfield to first base as a demotion. He knew that was for the better of the team and the organization. So, yeah, I mean, him and Kyle, if the Phillies were a mess, Kyle Schwarber would not have re-signed with the Phillies. So that tells you a lot right there, because he had offers.
Pirates.
I still think the Phillies are the team to beat in the NL East.
I agree. And they've created a winning culture, and I, as you guys know, I'm a big believer in culture in athletics on a team. If you don't have it, you're just not going to win. You're playing, paycheck to paycheck. Where you're getting, the 15th of the month, you're getting $15 million check. I mean, that's it. If that happens to a team, the soul of it goes out. So I think we're on the same page here. I like the Phillies to win the division. Let me get to the Central, and I'm going to throw out a wild card. Right? I know the Cubs have made some upgrades. They should win that division. Milwaukee lost their number one starter. They seem to always trade a good player away, get a bunch of young players, win the division. Not going to happen this season. You can't give up your number one starter and think you're going to be better than you were the season before and replace him with nobody. So I think time has run out on the Milwaukee, but I'm going to give you a shock prediction. I think
I
the
know
Reds,
who this is.
I think the Reds are going to win this
Yeah.
division.
Mhm.
They are, there is something when you watch this team, there is something about them. They have four legit starters. They got a bullpen. They've got speed. They're young. They're excited. They play. They have fun. You watch the Reds. They're all having fun. They're high-fiving each other. They're messing around. They're having fun. I love what Cincinnati's done there. And I think in the National League, the Cincinnati Reds this season are going to be the shock team. Dan?
I could see that. Yeah, I mean, they were on the come last year, and obviously didn't have a great year last year, but I could see them coming around this year. The Brewers were kind of a surprise last year. I don't know that everybody expected them quite to be as good as they were, but could see them sort of falling back. The Cubs getting better. I think the Pirates will be better, at least relative to what they were last year. The problem is, I don't know how much better they'll be relative to the other teams in the Central. They've made some upgrades. They finally spent a little bit of money, but I don't, is that going to be enough? I don't know. Paul Skeens tried to put some pressure on the organization, and so they've done some things, but I think the big question in Pittsburgh is whether Connor will be their opening day. The supposedly the number one guy waiting in the wings in the minors to play, and there's an interesting situation going on there where I guess the Pirates will retain the rights to him for longer if he doesn't come up right away at the beginning of the season.
That's what the Pirates do. I mean, that's
yeah.
See that's
It's
why
silly.
that's why your
Exactly.
owner sucks. Your
Yes.
team sucks. There needs to be a floor. But the Pirates won 71 games last season. If you do the math in the NL, to make the playoffs, you're going to have to win 87 games. Reds won 83 last season. They came up short. They were in it until the final week of the season. Got to win 87 games. You got to ask yourself, did Pittsburgh have a 16-game improvement? The answer is no. So, 10 games, maybe they get to 500. They're not going to win 87 games. So I just don't see that.
I don't think they're going to be 500 this year. I don't.
No, I don't either. And the Cardinals, Vince, are in a rebuild, but you kind of knew where I was going here, Vince, with the Reds.
I think they have the most exciting player in the game of baseball, and that's Ellie De La Cruz.
Absolutely.
That guy is electric.
He is incredible.
And the amount of energy he brings in a 162 game schedule, which is difficult. I mean, it's hard to bring energy for 162 games, but if there's anybody that does, it's him. He's electric. And to be a shortstop and to speed, the thing that he brings to the game is you can't measure. And let's be honest, John, they might have the best generational manager of our time in Tito Francona. I mean, this is the guy that broke the curse of the Bambino with the Red Sox. The guy can manage.
And then he goes to Cleveland, and he had really good teams there.
Yeah. Everywhere he goes, he wins.
I know. What did they name? Didn't Joe played with West Virginia somewhere in Arizona? They named that.
Yeah, he's a U of A grad.
Yeah, they named that stadium after him.
Yeah.
He managed Michael Jordan in the minors back in the 90s.
That I did not know.
I think he was Michael Jordan's manager when he left the Bulls for a little while.
Well,
All
there
right.
you
So
go.
who's your prediction to win the NL Central, Vince?
It's you know what? It's hard to go against the Cubs, just the amount of the payroll that they have. And I'm not, I tell you, I know that you had mentioned it, and I can't disagree with you, but I still think the Brewers are going to be
They
there.
always
They're
find a
going to
way.
be there. Now, whether
Always
they
find a
win
way.
the
The Brewers
division or
always
not,
find a way to
You
stay in.
can't keep trading your best player, your
and we
best
say that every
player.
year, though,
You
John.
can't
We
put
say
John,
that
John,
every
they're
year.
doing
They're
some
the-
devil magic up in Milwaukee. All right, they always find a way to do it.
What's out?
Yeah, which
They always
really tells you that
Because they weren't supposed
uh,
to be good last year. And
yeah, I mean,
they
which
ended up
tells you,
being-
Pat Murphy is a heck of a manager.
Yeah.
Heck of a
Lock
manager.
ones out. All right.
He
So
does
you're
he does so much with
Go ahead.
what little is there.
We got 15 minutes, and I got 5 other divisions. Go ahead, Brandon. What do you see?
I think I see the Cubs coming in first. Milwaukee's going to be in second, but right behind them will be the Cincinnati Reds. And I'm just hoping my Pirates aren't, so laughable this year.
Well, when you get schemes, you're not laughable. Okay, so
Yeah.
everybody's picking the Cubs except me. I'm picking the Reds, and I'm always right about this stuff, guys. Hey, by the way, the Cardinals, they're not going anywhere. They're in a legit rebuild. I got no problem with that as an Astro fan. But we're going to see J.J. Weatherholt. We're going to see him in the major leagues this season after the All-Star break or before. And I can't wait. Wherever he's playing, I'm going to go. I don't go to road games, but I'm going to go see that. I'll break that rule just to see JJ play, who I know very well.
Well, meanwhile, John, you need to have a talk with Art Rooney about how to do a proper rebuild. Different sport, but
I mean, look, I don't know what the Steelers are doing, but if you're going to do a rebuild, you can't go half-ass. I mean, it's painful as a fan. It's painful. But if you tell the fans, like the Astros did, we're going to suck for about 3 years. Just hang in there with us, find something else to do in the summer, and then we'll have you back. 3 years of pain got me 10 years of pleasure. I mean, I'll do that trade-off any day.
Look what it did for the Patriots. I mean, they came up short in the big game a week ago, but I mean, if you had to choose between having the Patriots' fortunes or the Steelers' fortunes, I'd say the Steelers maybe have a better roster, man 2 through 53, but the Patriots got their guy.
And the Patriots are better managed. Let's just be honest. Well, they know how to win.
That's true too.
We're afraid
true.
to here sometimes. It seems.
All right, let's get to NL West. Obviously, the Dodgers are going to win it.
Yeah.
Unless
they boycott California because of the jock tax.
They're going to win. I'm telling
well, that's
you,
like 3 teams in that division. Then
that's true.
I mean, look, the Dodgers win the division. San Diego is going to get in the playoffs again. I don't know about Arizona. Colorado's horrible. But Vince, kind of the interesting story is your Giants with a college coach manager that never played or touched a professional organization, didn't play professional ball, didn't coach professional ball, didn't do minor leagues, wasn't a pitching coach, did nothing right from college. Can it work, Coach Vince?
We will find out. And you know what? I love the Giants thinking out of the box in this one. I really do, because over the last few years, the Giants, ever since we lost Bruce Bochy, it's been just like, first we had Gabe Kapler. Kapler, I was not a fan of his.
Lipcard.
Yeah. Bob Melvin, decent guy, but gosh, it just looked like no energy at all. And I'll guarantee you, Tony Vitello will bring energy to that clubhouse. I mean, I've already seen clips of him at spring training. I mean, jumping in, doing PFPs with the pitchers and stuff. And, interesting note, when he was a pitching coach at the University of Missouri, Max Scherzer was on his staff as a pitching staff. So he's got I do not believe Max Scherzer has signed with anybody yet. I might be wrong, but I know that there has been rumblings that he could be a late addition to the Giants pitching staff. Max Scherzer teaming up with Tony Vitello. Yeah, it's the Dodgers division, no question about it. But I think the Giants are the second best team in that division now. And I think they have a legitimate shot to make the playoffs as a wild card.
Well, we're going to see what happens. It's going to be fun. Certainly the Kyle Tucker signing by the Dodgers. put the nail in the coffin for.
And Edwin Diaz too.
Yeah,
Best
Vince, I'll
closer
keep
in
you
the
posted
game.
about how the Double A team here in Richmond does.
There we go. Flying squirrels.
That's right.
Yeah, it put the nail in the coffin for salary cap. I mean, when you look, I like Tucker. He won a lot of games for us, and he's a really nice young man. Now he's a bajillionaire. Good for him and his family. But to pay him that kind of money, lifetime 275 hitter, average right fielder, no speed, gets hurt a lot. I mean, it's just the game is now becoming absurd. And that's why I keep telling you guys, there's going to be no baseball in 2027. None. Zero. You're not going to have a game the whole season. They got to fix this, and they got one shot to fix it, and that's going to be 27. And if the owners got the balls to just say, no, we are going to fix this, then you'll be out 27. And when it comes November of 27 and the players realize like their careers are over if they don't do this, then they're gonna have to compromise. We're gonna have to get a salary cap and a floor. Otherwise, it's going to destroy the game.
We'll be watching what's right behind me, John. Minor League Baseball, the Grand Junction Jackalopes.
I can't wait, baby. I mean, look, we're going to get minor league baseball is going to be on national TV. It's going to elevate that the way college baseball has been elevated. And I got no problem there for a year. No problem.
Hey, the
Go
Pirates
Flying
may
Squirrels.
be competitive here soon.
That's right.
Hey.
Yeah, the Pirates, the best team in the minors. So.
I know.
We've basically been the Yankees farm team for.
If that's the case, if it's minor league baseball, it could be a Pirates A's World Series.
See, I think that would be fun. I think if the owners did that, and look, why not give these
Don't
kids a
insult
shot?
me any further.
Give these kids a shot. I love to. I would be in on that because I'm sick of these. I'm sick of the Dodgers. I'm sick of the Mets. I'm sick of the hedge fund guy at the Mets. Screw him. I'm sick of all of the Yankees. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over and over. You got to level the playing
Big market
field.
teams. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, hockey's done it right. I mean, the salary and the way hockey did the salary cap, NHL guys are brilliant. The way they did that and they revised the playoff system, it has revitalized. The hockey revitalization in the NFL is nothing short of what Trump did for Washington, D.C. It's at the same level. It's epic, night and day. And they did it the right way, and so did the NFL. And again, I say it every week.
Make MLB great again.
Make MLB great
Trump
again.
for commissioner.
That's right. And old
We got to do it. It's got to be done. We got to do it.
Okay, let's get to the AL. Of course, we're going to start with the AL Central so I don't run out of time, right? You guys know that. So, what I say, AL Central. I'm sorry, AL West. So we're going to go backwards. Blah, 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 Seattle. I love my team this season. I love my team. I love the changes we made. I love the little skinny pitcher we got from the Japanese league. He's 5'9". He's $180. My son Joe is bigger than him, and he's 5'9", 200. So I don't know how this guy's going to finish his season. But look, we got an infield surplus. I like Isaac Paredes. We got to give Altuve some time off his feet. I love Correa at third. I love our catcher Diaz. I love Hunter Brown. I think is got a shot for the Cy Young, or certainly right there in the running again. And Hader's out for I think a week or so, but we got the best back end bullpen in the major leagues. We got a good bench. Got some problems in the outfield, but I love our team going to the spring training. So obviously, I do this every season. I predict the Astros are going to win the division. And I took my Seattle winnings. I took $500 of my Seattle winnings, and I bet the Astros to win the World Series. Vince, I got 22-1. So if they win it, I get back 12-5. So I'm ready to roll with the Astros. But I think they're going to win that division. Seattle's always tough, no doubt about it. But I love our team. I don't think anything in Texas. If there was a team I'm afraid of, it's Sacramento, or I'll open it up to the field.
Well, I know you're a loyal Astros fan, but the Mariners will win the AL West by double digits this year. Mark that down, Brendan.
All right, let's go to what do you think of the A's? The A's are better than meets the
Oh,
eye.
there's no question. They're gearing up for their if they ever get to Las Vegas, but I guess it will not be the Las Vegas Athletics, to my understanding. They're going to have to maybe change their name or something, because some dive bar in Stockton, California, took the naming rights of Athletics and trademarked it.
Oh, they're screwed.
That's amazing.
Brendan, AL West, quickly.
AL West, I still think the Astros are going to win it. I think the Athletics are going to surprise a lot of people, but I don't think they win the division.
How about the Mariners?
Mariners are going to be in the mix too. They're always a tough team.
All right, but because Brendan works for me, so he has to pick the.
He signs my check. I got to pick the Astros. Come on, guys.
Brendan's a company man.
Actually, yeah. I haven't signed a check, Brendan, in 32 years. I don't sign checks.
Well, if you get mad at me, then Ann will get mad at me and not sign my check.
Do we still have those checks?
No, I get paid through PayPal.
I haven't had a checkbook, Vince, in 34 years. I don't have a checkbook. I don't bounce shit. All right, go ahead, Dan. What do you think? You gonna throw my team under the bus?
Oh man! Oh, look how he sets me up for that. Well, one day we got to talk about your rooting interests. They are the most eclectic I've ever got. You got a Maryland sweatshirt on. You root for the Tennessee Titans, the Houston Astros. What is the rhyme or reason here? I'll make you a happy man, Fred. I'm going to go with the Astros with you. How about that?
And worst of all, don't forget the Washington Capitals.
Oh no! Don't
what is
tell
wrong
me.
with you, John?
Oh no, John. I'm out of here.
I gotta have one home. Ann says we got to have one home team. So I said, "Oh, I will be the cat," because it can't be the Nationals, and I don't care about the Super.
Aren't you from Pittsburgh?
No, I was there. I was there 2 years only. I was just
Where are you from?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Originally in New Jersey.
Oh, you grew up in Jersey.
Yeah.
Pick the Wizards then. Good Lord.
I don't do anything.
I'm from outside D.C., but my family hails from Pittsburgh.
I'll do it.
Brendan would appreciate my Yinzer here from Uniontown. So
Uniontown.
Uniontown.
Far from where I'm at.
That's right.
We like Pittsburgh. We
not far from Morgantown.
We like Pittsburgh. We had no problem. Only city we lived in for 1 year, which I absolutely hated, was Raleigh. I could not wait to get out of there. I didn't like it.
Interesting.
In fact, I left early. I left like 3 months before Ann did. I couldn't stand that place. All those woke people down there in woke county. I hated it. Anyway, having said that, I've got 1 more minute. National League East. Can anybody beat the Yankees? Vince.
I think the Blue Jays are going to be in the mix. Losing Bo Bichette is going to be big, but I believe they made a free agent signing or two that I'm totally alluded to. But the Blue Jays are going to be in the mix, but on paper, probably the Yankees.
I got a half a minute. Who's going to win the AL East? Statler.
I think the Blue Jays win it this year.
Who's going to win the AL East? Dan.
Yankees.
Okay, we got to go. Want to thank everybody for being with Godzilla Wins. I say Yankees also. Everybody's thankful you for being with Godzilla Wins today. As always, we always enjoy having you with us. I'll be back Monday, 6 a.m., bright and early, live in Washington, D.C. Up next, Jay Delsing, golf. Stay right here.